Dear Mom, thank you for giving birth to me and not having an abortion. 2% of my time on earth has been spent inside your body, more than all my girlfriends combined. And I enjoyed my time in the uterus, reading what the previous fetuses had written on your walls. That's how I learned to spell. That's how I came out speaking. A voice wants to know why I wasn't there the day the doctors splayed you out on the operating table. You who carried me like a bouquet of splinters in your belly, who let me suckle ambrosia from your coveted breast. A voice wants to know how I can seal my heart up like the lid of a submarine. The truth is, I don't know what's in there, and if I open that valve too quickly, the pressure might break me, might rip my ventricles at the seams. When I saw you outside the methadone clinic, half your teeth gone, I had to turn, couldn't watch the family tree being hacked into more firewood. Yes, I want to crush and snort the knuckles of the doctor who prescribed you the Oblivion chiclets. But you're the one playing Paul Bunyan, swinging the pill bottle like a plastic axe, and my tongue is not a ruby ambulance rushing towards you. I know reality is a mosh pit that keeps spitting you out, that beauty seeps from your face like sugar from a punctured sack. I know death is on the staircase, but you were a ghost all along, an apparition with a wine glass floating through my childhood. I know you were born in a Polish neighborhood with an aluminum spoon in your mouth, that booze runs through us the way politicians run through promises. I know about the more in morphine and what it's like to wake and feel like a chalk outline of yourself. I know about days passing so quickly they don't even wave, let alone stop and say hello. I know that it's been one of those months, one of those lifetimes when you dream of a laundromat, a place to unscrew your skull and toss your dirty thoughts into a machine. Come back an hour later, your impulses all folded and clean. If I could, I'd have a scientist shrink me down and inject me into your bloodstream. And I would go with a wash brush and suds bucket, scrub the opium out of each one of your cells. I used to think I was tough because I could hold a machine gun of whiskey to my cranium and take bullet after bullet to the brain. I used to think the greatest display of strength was lifting a hunk of metal in the air, but now I know it is far more difficult to put something down. Conditionals. If you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. If you can't take the kitsch, stay out of the gift shop. If you can't take the guillotine, stay out of the guilt. If you can't take the guilt trip, stay out of the narrative. If you can't take the narcissism, stay out of the mirror. If you can't take the miracle, stay out of the mire. If you can't take the mirage, stay out of the desert. If you can't take the desecration, stay out of the bedroom. If you can't take the bedlam, stay out of the pillbox. If you can't take the pills, stay out of the plunder. If you can't take the plunge, stay out of the chapel. If you can't take the chatter of teeth, stay out of the freezer. If you can't take the freestyle, stay out of the cipher. If you can't take the sci-fi, stay out of the Spielberg. If you can't take the spiel, stay out of the showroom. If you can't take the shove, stay out of the accusation. If you can't take the ache, stay out of the land belonging to the heart. A couple of weird poems. This book comes out in about 2 months or so. Yeah, there's a whole sequence of 15 poems in here they're a metaphor for something. I still haven't figured them out, but they're very weird. I'll read 2 that are also weird, but maybe in a different way. This has 2 speakers in it. There's I think it'll be clear where there's a kind of the poetic speaker, and then there's someone who jumps in and kind of heckles the speaker, and then the poetic speaker comes back. It's called Undocumented Joyrider in the Land of the Flesh. I'm running up a hillside that's covered in crabgrass, burrowing under bushes that undulate like a pair of hips as God's spotlight lashes down. So I cover my limbs with sulfur and paprika to blend in with the dirt. I am illegal here in the land of pleasure, and I know it. Hiding from God like he's La Migra is no way to spend a Saturday. If he catches whiff of me, he will deport me from this privileged land of touch. Excuse me, Senor Fuckface. Sorry to interrupt your poem, but you can't just grab any subject and turn it into a metaphor to describe your spiritual pain. I don't care if your wife and daughter are Hispanic. The border isn't some jump rope for you to play hopscotch with. It's not a tightrope strung between flagpoles that people walk barefooted and blindfolded over safety nets of broken glass. I'm ready for you, Lord. It's me, Senor Fuckface. Tie me down with your jump rope and drag broken glass over my metaphors till the little demon inside me, tight-roping between my earlobes, takes off his safety net blindfold and shows his true face. I guess this book is very much about middle age in various ways, and so this poem is also, it's called Middle Age. After an hour on the phone with creditors, your testosterone feels like watered down lemonade. You couldn't impregnate an awkward pause. Remember the old days when your wife was belly swollen and you strutted Brooklyn streets with an internal boner twanging against your spleen? Imagined being a crop duster filled with semen and pollinating all the women passing in springtime dungarees. Now you clean greasy spots of masculinity off the tiles and mop on your knees like Cinderella with saggy boobs and a t-shirt that says, "Used to be one of the fellas." Now the bathroom feels just way too biological. Even in your man cave, you're civilized. To-do lists spray painted on the ceiling. A latex doll wobbling towards you, holding a strap-on and a palm full of Rogaine. This will be the last poem. It's thanks for having me, and I look forward to talking to people afterwards. Thanks for the great time, Aubrey, and the nice dinner, and thanks for letting me into your scene. And Renegade, it's great to see you again, sir, and hear your work.